So today I'm going to do a YouTube on how I make my organic cat food. And Jamie, this is for you. One of my dear friends adopted the kitten that I rescued last week. And I was telling her about how I make my own organic free-range cat food. And I've been doing it for a few years, and my 11-year-old cats have done so much better. I started doing the distilled water and adding the trace minerals and the iodine into it. So that really did help, probably 50%, but changing their cat food made a huge difference. And I was buying Tiki Cat, $1.59 a can, which is kind of pricey for little cans of cat food. So anyway, this has made a huge difference. So what you're gonna need is, so I'm getting one package of boneless, skinless thighs so they get some dark meat. And I'm getting 3 packages of boneless, skinless breasts. And then 1 package of drumsticks with the bone and the skin on them so that they're getting some fat. And then 1 whole organic chicken. Okay, so they're getting their fat, they're getting their calcium, they're getting the bone marrow, and they're gonna get their organ meat. And then I'm going to be using 1 can of organic pumpkin, also from Trader Joe's. And you can only get it seasonal usually, although Vaughn's always has the organics brand. Oh yeah, glass bowls for freezing. I make this last 2 cats a month. So I spent $50 for all of this. Now for 1 month of the Tiki Cat, I was spending $100. So this is half the price. And it takes about an hour and a half once a month. So basically, I just take all of these foods and I just plop them right into my crock pot. Okay. So now I have my whole chicken in the sink, and I'm going to take out its insides and I'll show you what I do with them. Okay, so I'm going to be putting all the organ meat pieces, I'm going to chop them up really small, and I'm going to put them in 1 container, and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator until all of this has cooked. So here's all our organ meat pieces. There's like the heart and the gizzard and I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff. So the neck I'm just going to throw in here because it'll completely dissolve. Can you hear her? This is my cat that was completely chewing her body up, and she certainly looks good now. She's 11. Oh, is that organ meat? Oh, okay, so this is raw. It's much healthier for them raw. Okay, so I'm gonna take all these little chopped up pieces, chopped up really, really small, in the refrigerator. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my chicken in the crock pot. And when I first started making these, I was thinking, ooh, I should probably take some of this fat off. But if you've ever thought about in nature, if a cat eats a bird, they eat the skin, the bones, the meat, the organs, they eat everything because they need that fat. So now this goes in really nice, fills up my crock pot. I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so now my hands are washed. Like that matters, I don't know, but it matters to me. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my distilled water. And if you don't know about drinking distilled water, I do have a YouTube that talks about why and how amazing it really is. And so anyway, but I won't go into that on this one. This is about my organic cat food. But I do use distilled water that I distill, and it's also what I drink. So I just kind of fill it up with the water, and then I just throw the lid on this guy. So now we are gonna cook this on high for about 4 hours. And after 4 hours, I'm going to turn it down to low. Good morning. Okay, so last night I cooked this for about 4 hours on high. Then I just finished cooking it the rest of the night on low. So I'm gonna take it to the sink because it's a little bit messy. Best way to do this is at the sink. So I've taken the pot out of the crock pot. Hey Jamie, thank you. I use this every day. Jamie is my friend who is the reason I'm doing this YouTube video. Then I'm gonna take a large bowl, I'm gonna put it in the sink. Okay, so here's a leg bone. So I'm kind of feeling, see if there's any little bones that haven't disintegrated. Oh, so here's a little tiny bone, but if I push it, literally it just disintegrates. And I know that there are 2 leg bones. Oh, and I know that there are 2 bones in a leg bone. Okay, so watch this. You just squeeze it between your fingers. And I just kind of feel for anything sharp, if there's anything sharp. The rest I just drop in there. If there's a little tiny piece still sharp, I put it in that bowl. So I just kind of pinch the round part off, like that. And there's nothing sharp in it, so it goes in there. Then this bone goes back in here. I'm gonna cook for another like 5 hours, and they will completely disintegrate after 5 hours. So there's some, look at that, all that nice marrow. So good for them. Okay, so I just continue to go through and I just feel everything, squish it between my fingers. Okay, so now that I've got all my chicken off, I'm gonna take these bones, I'm just gonna put them back in the crock pot with the fatty water. I just don't like to waste any of the animal. So now we're just gonna cook it until the bones disintegrate. It's usually like 4 or 5 hours on high. Do you want some milk now? Do you want some chicken? I know, huh? Yes, we do. Okay, so the crock pot is finishing cooking those bones. And now I'm gonna put 1 can of pumpkin into the food. And then I take that fresh raw organ meat that I chopped up yesterday. And I'm gonna put that in here. I really need a bigger bowl. Uh-oh. Okay, big pan. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this all up, and then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator until my bone mixture is done. And I also do this just in case there's any little sharp pieces, I can feel them, but I got them out really good. Okay, so now it goes in the refrigerator while the bones cook. Okay, it's night. I just took the pot out of the crock pot base and I put it in the sink. And I'm fishing out the big bones. I'm scooping everything out with one of these. So after I get all of the bones out of here and all the remnants, then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my magic bullet. Okay, so it's about that much juice, and there's the bones. And here we go. So now I'm gonna unscrew my magic bullet. And I've got all this great bone and bone juice. I'm actually gonna strain it through a strainer just to make sure there's no bone fragments. And because I use so much water, so there's still like some weird little things, and I'm not going to put those in my stuff. This is the only part of this whole chicken that is not going to be used. And now I'm going to pour the juice from the crock pot in this. just in case there's any bones I missed. Which there wasn't. Nope, I didn't miss anything, but just in case. So now I'm just gonna stir it up. And it looks like there was just enough juice. And it's gonna look really liquidy at first, but the meat just absorbs all that juice and then it's wonderful. So there we are. The cat food is finished. And now I'm just gonna fill all my bowls and put them in the freezer. This is Buddha. You haven't met him yet because he's my big baby. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this organic cat food tutorial. I know these guys are gonna be so happy. They've been so healthy and happy since I have been giving them this. I mean, just truly happy. And they're 11 years old and they get diarrhea occasionally. And I know it's not something we want to talk about, but since I put the pumpkin in, pumpkin is really great for diarrhea with cats. And it really does help them when they have diarrhea, or to keep them from getting diarrhea. Pumpkin's just good for cats. Okay, hope you enjoyed it.